biggest game in London is happening this weekend. Chelsea vs Arsenal. These two teams are the most exciting teams in London. I think the rest would have a debate about it. But if you are looking at football in London, it's Chelsea or Arsenal. Going into this fixture, Arsenal are first on the league log with just 6 points between them and Chelsea. Chelsea are second on the league log. A lot of people would ask, are Chelsea title contenders again? We know Enzo Maresca came out last season to say they are not title contenders. This season, he was asked the question and he's still looking at they are still there. They are looking at getting out there. If they will be title contenders, they'll get to find out in February. This is one of the most exciting fixtures. Players moving from Chelsea to Arsenal are a lot. Over 13 players have moved between these two clubs. That shows that there is rivalry, but there is still enjoyment. There is still fun between these two clubs. Going into statistics, this fixture is one of the most exciting fixture in the Premier League. And I'm going to break things down for you. Firstly, we'll look at the predicted lineup of both clubs. Tactically, how are both teams going to set up? Is Arteta going to go with a low block, with a mid block? I'm going to give you all those details. With Enzo Maresca clearing Kopama that he's going to start the game, is he going to surely start the game? We are going to go into how Enzo Maresca will set up going into this game. This fixture statistics comes with a lot of excitement. The last time Chelsea won a game against Arsenal was December 2019, a long time ago, 6 years back since Chelsea won a game against Arsenal. This fixture last 2 seasons ended in a 2-2 and also a 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. So Arsenal visiting Stamford Bridge again is one of the huge things Arsenal are also. So going into the Champions League, Chelsea met Barcelona, beating Barcelona at Stamford Bridge by 3-0, stopping this Barcelona team in 53 games without not scoring a goal. And that is a huge improvement in the Chelsea side. On the Arsenal side, they met an attacking force in Bayern Munich. And at the Emirates, Arsenal won by 3-1. That is the first defeat for Bayern Munich across all Europe. And now there is no team in Europe top 5 league who has not been without a defeat. That is what Arsenal brings you going into this game. Going into statistics of these two teams, Chelsea has kept 8 clean sheets in their last 11 home games, meaning they are also building a fortress at Stamford Bridge. And also looking at this season, their last 7 games, Chelsea has scored first in any of their last 7 games they've played. So in this game, if you are seeing Chelsea getting the early goal and maybe keeping a clean sheet, you shouldn't be worried because their statistics says that this is what Chelsea are trying to build. From the Arsenal side, they've not considered more than a goal in their last 13 out of 14 games. They've just considered a goal in 2 or more in just once. And in their 6 last away London derbies, has averaged 4.37 goals. So meaning when Arsenal goes away to its London brothers, there are a lot of goals happening in this fixture. Let us know in the comment section. Do you think we are going to see a lot of goals in this fixture? Or what do you think? Going into the players, Pedro Neto has been the brightest star for Chelsea. 5 goals in 5 games. And that shows that he's performing so well. If he's to get a goal, I wouldn't be surprised because the last time Chelsea played against Arsenal, he was that key figure from the bench to get an equalizer for Chelsea to making the game 1-1. On the Arsenal side, Martin Odegaard is that player who has 7 goal contribution against Chelsea, the highest from an Arsenal side. And I think going into this game, he's fit. And he would come back into this game feeling so confident that this is a team he mostly get to score. This is a team he mostly get to get goal contributions for. Going into some of the players who are available and unavailable, Victor Gyökeres will be back for Arsenal. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans will be happy. Victor Gyökeres leading their line again against Chelsea is something they'll be looking out for. From the Chelsea side, Kopama will be back. And Kopama being back, we're going to go into their lineup. Will Kopama start? Will he be in the team? Or he will just come in as a substitute? So let's go into the tactical breakdown, how both teams are going to set up, and what we think both teams are going to make of this game. This setup, the Arsenal team are the team in red, and Chelsea are the team in yellow. So with the Arsenal team, we are looking at Raya being in post for them. Timber playing as the number 2, Calafiori playing as the number 3. We have that is Saliba and Hanikapi. I think you go for Hanikapi ahead of Mascherera in this game. We are looking at Zubimendi Rice being the middle pairing, Saka, Martinelli, Eze, and also Victor Gyökeres leading the line. Most people will be looking at with Trossard going off injured. Would he start Noni Madueke in this Chelsea game? I think no, he wouldn't start Noni Madueke because he's looking at one. Noni Madueke is coming from injury and he wouldn't be that fit enough to start in this game. And he's looking at him bringing that energy to Stamford Bridge. If you need a player to come into this game to be able to show that Chelsea is Wolves. I think he's going to come into this game in the second half and do something. So from the Chelsea side, I'm looking at something similar to the Barcelona setup, but there will be changes in the front line. So I'm looking at Sanchez will be in post for Chelsea, Gusto starting on the right side, Cucurella on the left, Chaloba and Fafana will start in the middle pairing. He will go for Caicedo and also Reece James in his double pivot. Enzo Fernandez as the number 10. Pedro Neto starting from the wings and also Garnacho starting also from the wings. We'll see João Pedro starting. A lot of people would ask, will Kopama being cleared, wouldn't he get into the team? I'm looking at Kopama being his weapon with Esteval coming in the second half to try and change the game depending on how Chelsea are setting up or how Chelsea are playing their game. So these are how the two lineups are going to go. And now let's go into how both teams have been setting up, how they've been putting up their teams together for the whole season. So let's start from the Chelsea side as they are playing at home. We know every time when Maresca is setting up his team, he goes into game differently with how he wants to play. So most of the time against teams who are difficult to break down, Maresca mostly go with Cucurella going into those half spaces. But most of the teams who come out to play, he would like to have a three back, especially if the team is coming with a right winger who is very good on the ball. In this game, Arsenal is coming in with Saka, who is very good on the ball for Arsenal. So meaning Chelsea will set up in a three back, Gusto going up front, and Neto coming in the middle. So you see Chelsea on the ball setting up like this. On the ball setting up like this in a 3-2-4 shape to make sure that they are protecting their back goal with 5 players, and also up front they have 5 players also attacking. With these 5 players, a player like Liam Delap will get himself into the box. João Pedro would occupy this role, and also Neto would occupy this role, leaving more space for the likes of Alejandro Garnacho and also Gusto occupying the wing to be able to pin Calafiori back. With James, that is Caicedo, would come and they will set up in this way. So anytime Chelsea are on the ball, this is how Chelsea are going to set up into the Arsenal half, with Saka and Cucurella always being together, like what we saw with Lamine Yamal against Cucurella. We are going to see something similar against Saka and Cucurella. So on the ball, Chelsea in the yellow, this is how I think they are going to set up, and this is going to give a lot of space for the likes of James, Caicedo on the ball. But if you watch Chelsea against Barcelona, Chelsea were finding it difficult to move the ball through the middle, especially with Caicedo. So this is something Arteta is going to be looking at. Should we press Caicedo anytime he's on the ball? And if they are pressing Caicedo, meaning they are bringing a lot of men to the middle, Rice, Zubimendi would come to make sure that James and Caicedo are being pressed well, then they will make sure they are going to lose the ball and they will take on counter attacks. But in the Barcelona game, one thing I also saw was that Maresca saw that early and he dropped Enzo Fernandez back to be able to be picking the balls and also making sure that he distributes the ball from this side. So when Enzo Fernandez dropped, Chelsea were going in a 3-3-4 formation with Enzo Fernandez coming to pick the ball, feeding the ball to either Gusto, Neto, Dilap, and also Garnacho up front. And Gusto, because of the energy he has, he'll be able to run up and down the pitch. That gives Chelsea more energy up front compared to Reece James, who has been battling injuries 1 or 2. With this setup, Enzo Fernandez is going to play a key figure in this Chelsea team. How he will come and pick the ball, move those balls to the wings, to Garnacho, to Neto, or to Gusto, and then make that run into the final third, being that box crusher to make sure that he gets into the box before the crosses comes and you'll be able to convert. These two teams are the highest scoring teams when it comes to set pieces. So if you are looking at corners happening in this game, there are going to be a lot of corners. Chelsea Arsenal's game is going to have more than 8+ corners in this game because both teams are thriving more on set pieces. Arsenal are the highest scoring team with set pieces, 10 corners being scored from them. Chelsea are the second when it comes to goals being scored from corners in the Premier League. And when it comes to goals being defended from corner kicks, Chelsea are on top there. So this is going to be a battle against set pieces, and when the team with the highest conversion rate when it comes to their corners and set pieces are going to make the night. So this is how Maresca is going to set up. Either Enzo Fernandez will find himself in those half spaces, and Caicedo and Reece James are going to move the ball from here, or he will drop, come and pick the ball and make sure that he detects play from this side. Chelsea would need runners in this game. That is why I'm looking at he bringing back Fafana and Chaloba into the lineup. maybe if Maresca is going to twitch something depending on the lineup, it's going to be a Fafana Badlieshe or either a Chaluba Badlieshe, looking at resting Fafana because of his injury record. And this is something that is going to play in the Chelsea setup. Now let's move into how the Arsenal team will set up. So with the Arsenal setup, as I mentioned, Raya will be in post. Timber, Caliafrori, he will be looking at Hanika Pisa being that back line. They would have Rice, Zubimendi, Eze, Victor Gyökeres, Martinelli, and also Saka. Arsenal mostly set up in something similar to what Chelsea do. But with the Arsenal building at the back with three, they don't use any of their centre backs. What Arsenal mostly do is they bring Zubimendi in between those centre backs. So when Arsenal are setting up, mostly you see Martinelli touching the line here. Martinelli will be around here. Caliafrori will be in those middle half spaces to be able to drive the ball and get a lot of shooting options because of how good he is on the ball. We see Victor Gyökeres always occupying those spaces in between Chelsea's box. And Eze, being the key figure, would also be behind Victor Gyökeres, especially when anytime Arsenal are on the ball. And you see Rice being that extra box-to-box man with Caliafrori up front. And in their middle, Saka would also occupy the line. And you get Timber coming in, mostly as a centre back for them, or coming into these half spaces for them. So mostly they set up like this, with their fullbacks coming into inverted spaces, being more of a centre mate for Arsenal team. And you see Hanikapi going on the left. Most of the time, you see Saliba also starting from here, and a player in Zubimendi being in the middle. So anytime Arsenal are on the ball from the back from Hanikapi, you see them set up in this particular manner. And in this particular manner, most of the time, Declan Rice would like to take the ball first. So most of the time, if you are trying to start play, Declan Rice is the one who starts the play. Zubimendi comes in as another centre back, and Saliba opens up. So anytime the ball is from Raya to Declan Rice, you see them in a 4-2-4 shape. But their 4-2-4 shapes comes with a 4-2-1-3 shape, with either striker, if it's Merino or Victor Gyökeres being here, and a player in Eze trying to find spaces in here, depending if Eze goes into the middle, the likes of Timber comes into this half spaces. If Eze comes here, Caliafori comes into this half spaces. That is how Arteta has been deploying his boys every time. And it has worked for them. So anytime they get to lose the ball, they have at least 4 men and Caliafori joining back, Timber joining back into their half. They have 6 men defending with 4 up front. And that is why Arsenal has been one of the most defensive teams, solid in the Premier League, not conceding a lot of goals, making sure that any game they are playing, they get to win and win well. But in their Bayern Munich game, I noticed something. Arsenal mostly don't like doing build-ups with Zubimendi because Zubimendi is known for his short passes but not those long-range passes. So most of the time, as I stated, Rice comes back to pick the ball and distribute those long balls or those high passes. But in their Bayern Munich game, anytime Joshua Kimmich was on the ball, Arsenal were finding it difficult to get closer to him. So with Bayern Munich's first goal, it was a long ball from Joshua Kimmich. He tried 3 long balls. One came with a goal. Other was a missed chance. And the third one he tried, Mikel Merino had to tackle him and got that yellow card. So that is what I said in the Chelsea side, that Enzo Fernandez is going to play a key figure in the Chelsea setup. How can he be that Joshua Kimmich for Chelsea with those long balls into the final third, those long balls into the wing areas to make sure that Chelsea are using their wingers? Garnacho Gittins needs to be on top form. But now we are talking about the Arsenal side. So with their build-up is going to be more of like this, in a 4-2-1-3 shape. Martinelli, Saka are always touching the line. Arsenal will be missing a player in Trossard, because if Trossard is playing, Trossard mostly finds himself into these half spaces. So if you saw Arsenal's goal against Tottenham Hotspurs, he was around here with 2 Tottenham players in between 2 Tottenham players. When Merino dropped and got the ball in between them, he was able to score from that side. That is how good Trossard is. But with Martinelli will give you that wing play. He will be on the line, touching the line, which leaves a lot of space. Either Ricardo Caliaflori would be able to occupy the space, or Victor Gyökeres or Eze would be able to occupy this space. They wouldn't give Arsenal that ability like what Trossard has been giving them. But this game, Declan Rice will be a key figure for us now. If he is to pick the balls, distribute the balls up front, similar to what Enzo Fernandez will be doing, get the ball to the wings and also run in between. And we know Rice to be one of the best box-to-box midfielders now in the Premier League and also in the world. So Rice will play a key figure for this game for Arsenal. And how would Arsenal be able to control the game? They will do that in a player in Zubimendi. And I think Saka is going to get something similar to what Cucurella gave, that is Lamine Yamal. Very close, very tight. So Eze needs to be that key figure in the game. It's either he's starting Eze or starting Odegaard. But I think in this game, Odegaard would have played a good role with Odegaard coming in as the number 10 and also Eze going in so that Eze can occupy those half spaces Trossard has been occupying, leaving Odegaard coming in the middle to pick the balls. Now leaving Rice and Zubimendi being the shield, and now Rice and Zubimendi being the shield with Timber occupying this space. So if Arsenal are going to go for Odegaard, Odegaard will always be on the ball. Gyökeres will be here. Eze will be in the middle, and now you get a player in Calafrio doing the overlapping to now overload the right side where Gusto will be going up and down. So I think this game will be tactical between both teams. This is how Arsenal are also going to set up. So off the ball, on the ball, this is how you are going to see them. But with off the ball was how I showed you in the earlier lineup prediction. I think it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be a very good game. So after a tactical breakdown on how both teams are going to set up, how Chelsea are going to deploy with Enzo Fernandez, as I said, is going to play a key figure in this Chelsea team. How he can come into the middle, pick those balls, distribute them up. Caicedo being that shin kicker, making sure that he destroy every ball coming from Arsenal. From the Arsenal side, how Eze and also Eze is going to help Saka on the wings to make sure that they overload on Cucurella, and Rice picking those balls and getting it into the final third is going to play a key figure in this game. I think this game will be decided in the first 30 minutes. Which team will set up their team well to get the early goal is surely going to win the game. But I'm looking at this game ending in a 2-1 for Chelsea, because Maresca will be looking at Arsenal coming back from the Bayern Munich game. He's also coming back from the Barcelona game, and he'll be able to set up in a way to stop Arsenal. He will limit Arsenal to less set pieces, a lot less corners and less free kick around their box. And with that, Chelsea have a lot of men when it comes to open play chance creation, which they've been doing this season. They are in the top 3 when it comes to open play. They are in the top 3 when it comes to goals scored. So they'll be able to take that game into Arsenal. There are 2 weapons that will be coming from the bench: Esteban Willian and Kopama for Chelsea, which I think are going to be the game winner for Chelsea. From the Arsenal side, Madueke is also going to come from the bench, who is going to be a key weapon. He has a revenge against Chelsea and is going to prove a point. So this key weapon from the bench, one way win the game. But I'm looking at with a weapon from Chelsea in Esteval and Kopama are greater than Madueke coming in. So this game, I'm tipping it to be a Chelsea 2-1. Let me know in the comment section what you think, what the scoreline would be. With my tactical breakdown, where do you think things would change in the lineup or in the breakdown? Let me know what places you think things will change, and let's have a discussion on this game. It will be one of the exciting games in the Premier League this season, and I think you need to watch this game. After the game, we'll give you a full breakdown of what happened in the 90 minutes and now what we should expect from both teams going on in the Premier League. Thank you for watching Tactics Breakdown. This show is brought to you by MyBet.Africa. Scan the QR code, get a chance to register on their platform. Use TT Pod to get a free 10 Ghana cedis to bet on any other game happening this weekend. And I know with this Chelsea game, you would have a lot of betting options to bet on. If you want me to give you a betting option, Chelsea win or draw in this game, 1.5 in this game, corners of over 8.5 happening, bookings of over 3.5. These are 4 selections on my Bet.Africa. Will give you huge odds. I'll put the link of these 4 selections I just made so that I can also click on it and also stake and be part of them. Thank you for watching Tactics Breakdown on the Chelsea vs Arsenal game happening this week.